the show all about Rainbow Six Siege. I'm Lisa Blonde here with Parker and Taro Mackay, looking spiffy in that turtleneck. We're bringing it back. We brought it back.
We brought it back. You should have worn yours.
Next time.
Like a turtleneck dress.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
You should wear a turtleneck dress.
Maybe I will.
Okay, great.
Maybe we both could.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should. It's cold out. That's also part of why we are indoors, like 12 feet apart.
That's right. We're safe.
We're very safe.
That's right. I don't do the show if he's any closer to me.
Yeah, I don't want to be closer, to be fair. So this is already like an uncomfortably close distance.
Okay,
But
let's talk about stage 2, okay?
Let's talk about stage 2, because it's done. Stage 2 is finished. We have the standings for the 8 teams in the US division and the 4 teams in the Canada division. In the US division, Dark Zero, the major favorites, finished on top. They were trailed just by TSM. So a preview of what the last major was. Maybe we'll see it again at the major coming up. We don't know. They're going to end up clashing with one another. Oxygen in 3rd place. Space Station falling a little bit from orbit down to 4th. And then from there on down, you had the Sonics, you had Disrupt, you had E United and Tempo Storm in relegation.
Right.
Swamp Womp, Tempo Storm. You got to defend your spot. E United looked a little better. They still finished 7th. That's a bit of a bummer. And then you had SQ and DG just smack in the middle. For the Canada division, Mirage, once again, the best team in all of Canada. The other 3 teams, Altiora, Nordic, and Livid, they got some work to do. Nordic actually is also fighting in relegations for their lives.
That's
in
right.
dead last.
That's right. Ooh, lots of interesting matches to come up, but I just want to poke your brain a little, not physically, verbally, about the standings and whether you were surprised really by the final results.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I thought that at the start, United definitely looked like a better than 7th place team. They looked like they could have even been 5th or 6th, and then they just had some games where things kind of broke in their opponent's favor. Somebody's got to finish dead last. I would have put Disrupt in that spot, but Tempo just doesn't seem like they've been able to do too much. You know, I love Jarvis to death. He's my best friend in the whole wide world. But I don't know if he's the best addition to that team right now. Maybe they need something more, even if they do end up sticking around, depending on who comes out of Challenger League to challenge them.
Exactly. They will have to fight for their spot against whoever makes it to the Challenger League to face them. So let's learn more about relegations and how it all works in this Explained.
And there's one spotted inside.
Goalie, he will. Oh, he's already all the rest of the work. Here's the shot through the barricade.
He needs to land a single bullet, and he must know that at this point.
As Stage 2 wraps up across the globe, several teams have the major on their mind and their eyes on the prize. Unfortunately for some, the end of Stage 2 means they'll have to fight for their spot in Siege's pro scene. That's called Relegations, friend. And relegation works a lot different now than it did in the old Pro League days. With 4 Tier 1 regions and different approaches to relegation, let's take a look at who could be in or out next year. We'll start off with Europe, where at least one team already has their fate sealed. Chaos Esports Club was auto-relegated after pulling up the worst record across both stages. They'll head down to European Challenger League for next season and have the chance to work their way back up next year. Meanwhile, no one could have predicted that this EU team would have to fight to stay in the league because they came in first in Stage 1. But an 0-9 record in Stage 2 has put Rogue, of all teams, in the hot seat. In the relegation matches, the top 2 Challenger League teams play each other, and then the winner will take Chaos's place in the EU League as the 10th team. The loser of that relegation match, the Challenger League team, well, the team that loses that will play Rogue. And then that match between Rogue and the Challenger League team will determine who goes into the EU League or who joins Chaos down in Challenger League for 2021. With a few Challenger League matches remaining, we'll have to wait and see which 2 teams make it to relegations alongside Rogue. Meanwhile, over in the US division, Tempo Storm is the odd man out in NA after finishing last this stage. They'll have to face off against the winners of the US Challenger League, either Beast Coast or Rent Free. The US relegations are pretty straightforward. Winner goes to the US division, loser gets knocked down to Challenger League for next year. Brazil's system works in the same way. The bottom squad, Furia, will face off with the winner of the Serie B League, Brazil's Challenger League equivalent. Falcol, Isurus, Royal Republic, and Singularity will face off in late November to decide who moves on to Furia. Meanwhile, APAC North's system will have 4 teams fight to keep their spot in the top flight. The bottom 4 APAC North teams will face off against the top teams from their own national events. The top performing teams from the Japanese, Korean, and Southeast Asian championships will qualify for relegations. However, only teams from Thailand and Taiwan can qualify from Southeast Asia this time around, with the other national events being canceled due to concerns over COVID-19. The 8th slot is reserved for the sub-region with the least amount of teams in APAC North. As well, if there are no teams from the same sub-region in relegations, the up-and-coming squad from that region will auto-qualify. I know, it's a lot to take in, so pay close attention to see who's standing when the dust settles in APAC. Teams will still have plenty of time to gear up for relegation matches, with most taking place later this year. But we'll have to wait and see who stays, who goes, who moves up, and who moves down the Siege food chain for the 2021 season.
And there's one spotted inside.
Surely he will. Oh, Deeks will do all the rest of the work. He hears the shot through the barricade.
He only needs to land a single bullet.
So while some teams are facing the uncertainty of relegation, what we do know for sure is that it is the end of Stage 2 for the US division in particular, and so we decided to, hand out some awards as we did after Stage 1 to some of the best performances. Haha, look at our budget. This is the unofficial Stage 2 awards.
You're gonna tell them that you misspelled
Nope,
it?
we're not gonna talk about that.
You're gonna tell them that you had to do it
I
again?
only misspelled
because
unofficial wrong twice. Okay.
Twice.
But it's okay, we have the budget. We have extra sheets of paper. Twice. Thank you for telling everyone about that. And why don't instead you tell everyone your thoughts on Stage 2 and the level of competition you casted? Huh?
It was good.
Was it good?
It was great.
Was it better than Stage 1?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell if the teams are just all super competitive or if none of them are sweating as hard as usual because they knew that there would be another mini major. And I mean, as much as we hate to say it, playing your region, like your top 4 teams in one region online, is much lower stakes than like a global major. So I have no doubt that there are some teams that go into it thinking it'd be cool to win this, but if we don't, whatever, which is very much not how they approach real events.
Right, interesting. So this is just what's happening, the current situation where everything is region locked in a sense, there's no lands happening. Okay, that's unfortunate. But you know what, there still were
some teams do try, by the way.
I was gonna say, okay, that was a nice, safe answer there. I like that. But there were some really great performances.
Yes.
You can agree.
That's why we have the awards.
That's right.
So what's the first category, Lisa?
I'm so happy you're on board. So the first category we have is for the player that often, is the first one to break into enemy territory, okay? We're talking about the best entry. You see that?
Yeah, it's a door.
That's right.
Are they exiting though? Because it looks like the door is like they're leaving.
Are you here to art critique or are you here to give an award out?
Okay, well this is bullshit. I'm sorry, but I spend so much time on these projects.
You want to know who I think the best entry is in the league?
Who?
I mean, it's going to be the one that the stats back up. Rexon from E United. He was something like plus 19 on entry. I think when it comes to best entry, you kind of just have to go with the person with the best numbers.
Congratulations, Rexon. Here's your award.
Good job, Richie.
I'll send this in the mail.
Also, it's an exit door as well.
No. Well, he can exit with the award.
All right, next one.
Okay, next category. The next one is to honor the player that has probably the highest number of kills. Let's be real. It's the best fragger.
Pew pew. That is the scientific sound that a pistol makes.
That is right.
Yes.
Can confirm. Who is the winner for best fragger in your opinion?
In terms of kill death, Laxing had by far and away the most impressive set of stats, but I think in terms of impact, it's going to the Beard. Achieved.
Oh.
I think Achieved on TSM had some of the biggest impact. He had some really clutch moments. Being that he's also playing on somewhat of an entry role, it's not a given that you're going to go up against the other 3 top teams and still come away with a positive kill death. He did. I think he was plus 31 on the season, which is really damn good. He was 2 behind Bolo, who was plus 33. So congratulations, Achieved Matthew. you are my best fragger for stage 2.
Okay, we're down to the final award of the night. The biggest honor one could ever have. Bam! MVP of stage 2. Who is your pick for the most valuable player of stage 2?
I think the MVP is going to need to go to somebody on Dark Zero because they finished first. A lot of good players on that team, but to me the standout was Skies. He was basically, I would say basically flawless in every role they put him on. On defense, he was playing a lot of smoke. He was playing a lot of terrible roles on defense. On attack, he was playing gritty roles. He was playing aggressive roles. He was still coming out on top. You know, they've kind of let Skies be Skies on that team again, and he's flourishing, and so is the rest of them.
There you have it. The MVP of stage 2, according to Parker, and Parker only is Skies.
Congratulations, Alex.
Congratulations. There you have it. Congratulations to all the winners of our very unofficial stage 2 for
Super
the US
official.
division. Super official. You see these?
Suck it, Siege GG. My awards now.
Congratulations to all those winners. You'll hear from our department. We'll be sending you these.
You get the sheet of paper torn very crudely.
I will fold them nicely.
Don't even fold it, just tear it and then just mail it as is. Put a stamp on it.
We've got all the best from stage 2 in this mix and match 6-pack. First up, we've got the Boss Goat up with this incredible play for a couple of reasons. He cleans up 3 members of E United to clutch things out despite having almost no sound.
They're just gonna wait. Bosco takes out Yeti, and what was a round that seemed almost certainly in favor of E United is now very heavily for SSG. Just as I say that though, Alfama gets scared away by a Nitro Cell. Rexon punishes Fultz, but the timer is so low that Alfama's gonna have to get in and play the objective. Where is he as we see Bosco in a 1v2? We call him the Clutch Master. He takes out the Zofia, just needs to waste time. He sees the Thermite and gets it! What a play from Bosco, and it's match point for Space Station.
For those of you who don't know, which is everybody, I've just been whispered in the ear by production. Apparently, during that entire clutch, Bosco had been experiencing a gun sound bug. That's the one where you're constantly hearing a gun firing. So effectively, at least I think that's the specific one, effectively Bosco didn't have sound in that clutch, and he won it anyway.
Next up, we've got TSM Captain Achieved pulling off an amazing clutch against OXG. With OXG on match point, the map was all but over for TSM until Achieved pulled off a miracle.
These 2 teams. OXG stunning TSM on that previous round, Bio in particular. That's now set him up for a much more confident set of play here on this final round. Geo shooting into a body, but he's going to get punished by the ace. It's all on Achieved's shoulders. Out goes a Nitro Cell. He misses 1, sees the ace lined up. He picks up 2, but he'll need to reload. There's somebody below and another to his right. Being picked away! Achieve takes out Laxing, and it's him versus Foxay in a 1v1. Achieve sustains a lot of damage on that nade through the floor. He's also got the diffuser as well. If he has that information at his disposal, this could be a massive challenge for Foxay. Achieve will need the clutch of his life, as it's him versus the sledge, and a tiny bit of HP for Achieved versus a fully healed Foxay. He gets lucky on this. It might be enough to drop Achieved, who will head through the vault, and he might see the barrel of the L85. This is a prolonged battle. There goes the Goyo shield. Oh! He gets it! Good God, Achieved! We are going to overtime. What a clutch!
Team 1 have found quite the gem in Raps, as the young Brazilian has been lighting it up this stage. As his team gets picked off one by one, Raps makes this next ace clutch look
That's
easy.
A beautiful frag there, straight into the cranium of Lukia, dropping him down to the ground. There's a follow-up as well. 2K picked up, keeping the game close though. 2 versus 3 with 40 seconds remaining. It goes down to 1 man. Raps on the Melusi, trying to make a bit of a monstrous move. Cuts his way through Pedrin, but can he clutch it?
Surely we are not going to see a 1 versus 5 to open things up. Raps gets panic, or this could be a first round ace start. The diffuser is on the ground. This is Guy versus Raps. This is Thatcher versus Melusi. The advantage right now stands with Raps. He has the diffuser at his feet. He can watch an angle. He sees the man coming. He takes shots. They will exchange. Not enough damage will be done. Guy on half health steps out, and Raps will get the kill and finish the ace with the impact nade. Huge beginning for W7M. But Team 1, they are equal, or at least Raps is.
This next clip is one of the most exciting clutches out of APAC this stage. On match point against Noarengo, Anaton pulls off this insane clutch to win it all.
Plant down. It's so difficult to succeed in planting in Jim, but Ayagator is going to stick it. Papilia looking for the angle. He can't find it in 1 second. The diffuser will be planted, but Norengo find all the kills. It is all on Anaton on the windows. 1 versus 3 cleans up the first player, but he has to watch everything. It's a 1v1 on round 15 with the pistols. Can Anaton hold on for just a little longer? And Cyclops hold the fort and win in ultimate overtime over Norengo.
What an absolute beast of a player!
This next clip from INTZ's VNX is the play of the stage, maybe even the year. Not only does VNX pull off an ace clutch, he defuses with milliseconds to spare.
All down to 1 now. VNX, he's got 8 kills already, but he really needs to up those numbers and pump up the quality of the round if he wants to gun them down. The peak was perfect, but he doesn't land the shot onto the second man. He had a smart read, but now he's panicking. With 40 seconds, a 1v3 in this manner, it's not looking likely.
Certainly not. He's had 2 attempts on the man on the rotation, but just not been able to shut him down either time. He's thinking about that window jump out. Doesn't have a C4. Can only go in through the window. Manages to get one onto BNX. Surely he's going to be shut down any minute now. Lands a sight of being held. As soon as he goes anywhere near that diffuser and they hear that disable animation coming in, they will look to pounce now. He's bouncing on and off, gets one. That's an unbelievable headshot. Can he get himself another? Surely he can. He's going to move round. Has he got time? Yes, surely. This is going to be an absolute fraction of a second, but I'm certain it was just before the 7-second mark. And that is an unbelievable clutch coming in.
That's all for stage 2. But with the major season on the way, we can't wait for what's next in the 6-pack.
It's been 2 whole stages since Oregon was reintroduced into the map pool, and the compound has seen plenty of action. After replacing Border in the official esports map pool, Oregon became a popular battleground for teams in Stage 1 after its rework. The extensive remodel touched on several major complaints from the community, and the results have been pretty positive so far. Now that pros have had more time with the new and improved Oregon, has the hype died down, or is Oregon still a favorite? Well, if you've watched the EU League this split, that answer might seem pretty obvious. But let's dive into the numbers on Oregon for Stage 2. Stage 1 was great for fans of Oregon as the map saw plenty of play across the Tier 1 scenes upon its return. APAC in the US division went to Oregon 9 times, Europe played it 8 times, and Brazil led the Tier 1 scene with a whopping 17 trips. It was picked 17% of the time in the top flight, and was one of the top 3 maps played across all 4 regions. Now that we moved on to Stage 2, Oregon's pick rate has jumped in both Europe and APAC, while slightly regressing in North America and Brazil. Unsurprisingly, Brazil still leads the way, but instead of 17 times, they've played it 16. APAC a close second at 14. European teams have faced off 11 times on Oregon, while the US, where Oregon is located, comes in dead last at only 6 times. The overall pick rate was up, however. Across over 223 maps played this stage, Oregon has been picked 20% of the time. Several teams have found plenty of success on Oregon, with BDS having a perfect record across 6 matches in Europe. No team has seen more wins on Oregon, however, than Cloud9. The Korean team has an unbelievable 12-0 record over the past 3 months. 3 of these wins, well, they came in Stage 2, with the closest match being 7-4, a victory over Electrify. With its high pick rate across both stages, the map's ban rate has been all over the board. The American teams have been more likely than the other 4 regions to ban Oregon, and it's been tied for second with Theme Park. It's the least banned map in Asia, and sits in the middle of the pack in both Brazil and Europe. Breaking the map down by rounds, Europe and Brazil have seen their defensive win rates change the most. Defense wins in Brazil have dropped by 9%, but have gone up by 10% in Europe since Stage 2 started. Meanwhile, Asia and America have seen little change in their win rates between the stages. As for the sites themselves, not much has changed on that front either. The Laundry Supply and the Kids Dorms bomb sites are still the 2 favorites for defenders across all 4 regions. Now that teams have had a chance to spend quality time together in Oregon, it's clear the map is here to stay. And after disappearing from its comp scene in Season 9 of Pro League, it's nice to see Oregon back where it belongs.
some Six posting. So, you know, the R6 community is always saying the darndest things. So this is where we show them and react to them. The first post comes from Pro Achieved, who we've talked about a lot on this show. He took to Twitter to say, "It's spooky season and I don't have a boo."
Jesus Christ.
Parker, you know what though? He did get a like from me for that tweet. Parker, can you relate? Can you relate to this?
I am jealous that across the world in some regions they are starting to do LANs. We are all missing them a lot. And hey, Rainbow Six actually just had one. The Japanese Championship on October 18th, they had a LAN event, and it wasn't just a LAN event. They had a pretty badass stage. So here it is. You can see it in all of its majestic glory. It's a recreation of a map I actually hate, which is Consulate. I can't stand that map, but I love the stage. I think it looks great. And it was pretty hype. They had like 30,000 people watching, 40,000 people watching or something like that. Pretty good viewership, of course, because of the hours. I couldn't really watch a lot of it.
Oh, not because you were jealous at all, or that you hate Consulate.
I mean, both of those things are pretty good reasons to avoid it, but no, it was more that, you know, it was on schedule for a Japanese audience.
Right.
And that is not the schedule that we are on, Lisa.
This is kind of, well, I guess it's on the topic. You know the stage, there was, I think it was 2018 where they had the players in a circle? You know what they had like facing each other?
Yeah, they had the two, like almost like brackets.
And then last year, or the last one, they had them all just straight on, right? So do you prefer one or the other? Just personally, I found it really hard to take pictures or see the players when they were in a circle. And I don't know why people like that format, but I find it as a viewer very difficult to see the players. So I really like the straight dead on one.
I mean, it depends on if you actually want to see the players
Why wouldn't you
themselves.
want to see them?
I mean, they're sitting at it's a person sitting in front of a monitor. It's not like you're seeing real athletes like running around and performing incredible feats.
What are you doing? Recline!
What you want to see is on their monitor. You don't want to see them sitting in the chair, right? Especially if they're not particularly animated. And any good player moments, every time you're viewing them, it's always visible on the little camera, right?
And hopefully soon we will be able to see them in person.
Wear a mask,
at a LAN.
wash your hands,
Exactly.
stay inside.
Thank you. Please.
And get a vaccine when it's available.
There you go. There you go.
All those things.
So we can go back to going to events on in person. Okay, guys? That is the lesson. We're gonna walk away with the show. But there you have it. That's the end of this episode. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials at Watch Retake and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have full segments on there.
We do.
You're subscribed, right, Parker?
I actually am. I'm subscribed on 2 accounts.
There you go. That shows how much he loves it. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.